broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, no? Oh, yes.
Oh, it's coming.
There we go. A little vibing.
Oh, it is.
I don't know if they're cutting to Katherine right now or not, but she's doing
What else is it? We aren't perfect.
What else did she do? That's good. That's good enough. Welcome, AFTERBUZZers, to a... Oh my gosh, it's the most exciting episode ever in the history of AFTERBUZZ TV.
We have been waiting.
We have been waiting.
For this night.
The stars have aligned for us, and we have a plethora of fabulousness in the studio tonight. Welcome to the Satisfaction After Show. I'm your host, Alison Dean. We're talking both episodes of Season 2, 9 and 10, through family and through new beginnings. So if you have not seen Episode 10, this is your disclaimer to watch after you have seen it.
Spoilers.
Unless you want some spoilers. Yes, because we
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Welcome to the studio. Next to me I have Blair Redford. Yes.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yes.
Were you just like,
I was thinking you probably wanted to be sandwiched between your husband and, well, I was thinking
I
it's
think
a
good idea.
It's a crapshoot.
Boy, girl, boy.
like, I can't go wrong.
Yes.
No,
I can't go wrong.
Someone put a lot of thought into
Okay.
the pattern here.
I'll be honest, I wanted Blair next to me.
Yeah.
I was
Smart
strictly told
choice.
to sit
You
here.
know, I like the honesty. I respect your honesty.
Good
I just
call.
commanded and I said Blair will be next to me. And then
That's the
I'm
one
gonna
nice thing
basically-
about working at Satisfaction. You really can't go wrong. You're like, I'm going to be in a scene with... Never mind.
I know. You can be having the crappiest day and you walk out and, oh, Blair.
Well, it'll work out, man.
It doesn't matter. On the couch, we have Matt Passmore. We have Katherine LaNasa.
Yeah.
And we have Grant Show.
Alright.
And of course, I have my outstanding co-host with me,
Is that Russian or
Yes.
some shit?
I've no
Blake
idea.
V,
That is
Khaliel
me.
Abooboo, Lauren Salaun.
Hey, hey.
How does that? Hello.
We'll do like a Twitter, Insta place to find everyone after, but most of them don't check most of their stuff since I've
There is a new
experienced
website.
that.
It's called Instaplace.
Is there really? Oh dear. Is there really?
It's actually called My Instaplace.
Oh.
She-
Oh no.
Someone signed up today.
Yeah.
I know.
That's the one
Yep.
she's on.
No
all
more
the time.
swipe left, swipe up.
Swipe up.
And down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down.
I think it sounds like a fun time, but I won't be doing it. I also don't do Snapchat because it's just too much.
complicated.
Yes.
It is.
All right. So welcome everyone, and we're happy that you're partaking in our champs with us.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Little
What?
Bravo TV watcher.
I am.
Hey, she is. We are.
And obviously you are too, since you do.
Oh yes, I know the Grinch very well. I know the Grinch, the shaft-stricken Grinch very well.
All right, so episode 9 really kind of it was a heavy Simon and Arthur episode. It was very much a meaty episode with you two. You have emerged from the dead in this episode, Grant.
For a moment.
For a moment,
For a
for
very
a
brief
brief
moment, yes.
You delighted your son for a brief moment, and then you basically
I lied,
ripped it all.
and then I died.
I mean, it's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a great guy.
Great summary.
That was perfect. Now on to episode 10. Yes.
Wait, lie,
And
kill.
we're back.
Lie, died.
There's
Lie,
been a murder in
died,
there somewhere.
died, got killed.
Even better.
Well, no,
More
you
thorough.
did killed Emma.
I did kill.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's what I mean.
Lied.
How to
Skip
get away
that
with
part.
murder? Don't tell your son.
He actually
Lied.
killed Emma and
Killed.
my unborn child inside.
Kill.
A double
Let's
murder.
not
It
forget
is.
the
Yes.
cherry.
Double
on top.
homicide.
Forgot about
But
So
you know,
here-
the
it's
good-
like
the
that
good-
guy-
the truth is, I died, so you don't really know if I was lying
That's what I'm
when I
saying.
said that I killed her
Exactly.
and your kid.
Thank you.
It's true.
We never
That's
saw
true.
her, never heard
You
from
haven't
her.
seen her dead, and if you
Right.
haven't, and even if you have, you're not really sure she's dead.
First scene of
That's
season
true.
3 is Emma on
Yes.
a yacht just going like,
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
got away with
Yes.
it all. Wild Things 4.
right?
That's what I was thinking.
Sorry,
With a baby. With a baby.
Right.
With the baby.
With a baby.
What a bunch of fools.
Played them all.
Played by Eloise Show.
Oh dear. Oh,
Little
it could
Weezy.
happen.
Yes.
It could happen. So yes, that was, I don't know, I didn't necessarily believe that Emma was dead just because you are a pathological liar. Not
But-
really, but on the
right.
show.
Also, that's so callous, right? That's like that Scott guy in Northern California. That lady
Peterson?
Peterson?
Yes.
Oh.
Right? It'd be like that.
It would be. It's very sketchy. Well, also, Arthur seems like a very vicious type of guy. I have been thinking for many episodes that he had, in fact, killed Emma.
Oh.
Well, I had been saying that
Yeah.
that was probably the main reason why he took, them down to Argentina, because he was going to do something to Emma
You realize
to get back
this
at this
isn't real,
guy.
right?
Oh, I'm in it. What?
She's hot on the trail. She's
I
like,
know. I'm going to figure this out.
I didn't realize it even when I read it, but when I saw that clip the other night, and it's when you gave her something that I couldn't, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, he's done it. Because then there's just the whole male ego thing just went
Right.
Yeah.
like
Literally.
someone's got to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Arthur has been
guys mess
impotent
around with
from
a lot
the
of
beginning.
things when it comes to that.
Arthur
Really?
has to have been impotent. Well, that was actually a choice that I had made for him, like from the very first episode.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
All this
Because
time, and
it's-
you were
that's
playing
funny.
impotent.
Impotent.
And none of us knew.
You seem so confident.
See?
You gotta overplay
That's
it.
the
You gotta
guy.
overplay it.
That's the guy you gotta worry. Look out
Yeah.
for it.
The guy with too many cars.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
overcompensation. It's a dead
Yeah.
giveaway.
I also appreciated the complexity of the storyline with like him running Waverly Industries and how multi-layered the whole like setup was between Arthur and Omar and the Malawi fake deal that happened. And I was like, I almost needed to rewind a few times because I felt like it was almost a jigsaw puzzle of trying to piece together how they were trying to con
Yeah.
him into
The
like
scheme.
losing all
I
the money.
read
Like,
it and read it and read it and watched it, and I still don't understand it.
Cons
I
on
think
top
we
of
even got
cons.
together on set and we were like,
Like,
alright, so can
what?
we figure the script out?
What's happening?
Like, just
What
so
am
we're
I
on the
doing?
same
I'm like,
page.
Yeah.
why am I?
No,
Why
it-
am I?
it got complicated.
I don't.
Yeah.
it did.
I think
Yeah.
there is a cynicism about wealth in the show, a very underlying one, because you got on Neil's side, his boss being a Bernie Madoff
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I
So
can see
there
that.
there seems to be this part of the American dream, wealth being a huge part of that.
Yeah.
As being
And
like,
sex.
well, it's all kind of shallow and false, and it can no matter how high you get, it can be stripped away at any time.
Yeah.
Or you start dealing with the mafia, and
Or it
Or
doesn't
the
really.
fake mafia.
Or it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. It's like, so however much wealth I had,
Doesn't make you
I'm
happy.
still a miserable. Can you swear on this?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm a
Yes.
miserable fuck. So
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can also
he
get naked on the show.
said it.
It's totally fine.
Well, I didn't get naked on their show, so I don't think I'm gonna get naked on your show.
But I also invite anyone else in studio. It's all fine.
And maybe a certain someone to your left. Just
Also fine.
Just
My
go on
fiance
demand,
might
you
kill
can see
me,
it
but that's
anytime.
okay.
This is the most clothes that I've actually seen you in.
Yeah, you're right.
You got
He's
layers,
layered.
which is-
Yeah.
yeah.
A shirt never happened
No,
before.
we-
Beyonce.
I'm burning up. I'm not used to it.
A
My
shirt
body's
and
trying
a
to
jacket.
acclimate to it.
Hey, he's burning.
We do
sitting next
rehearsals
to
and
you,
keep
burning
acting,
up.
Burn it up.
in
Burn
heat
it.
right now.
Take it off.
From
I
my
mean,
love.
how much
That's
do
it.
we like-
Isn't that another Madonna song?
How much do we like Barry and Omar? I liked both those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Barry.
You didn't
Which
have
one
any
was
scene.
Barry?
Wait, yes, you did. You did have a scene with Barry.
Yeah.
I did have a scene with Barry. I loved Barry and I loved Omar.
I was the whole time
Look
I
how
saw
concerned
Barry
he
on
is.
screen. I was thinking,
So you had a scene.
Yeah.
What was the scene?
Oh, he was good.
Was
He
Barry
really
Barry
good.
was the business guy?
investor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, the
loved
best
Barry.
actor, yeah.
Barry was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
good.
Barry was all
Great
like,
actor.
It's all
he
right.
was like a, he was.
I got him. I got him. And Omar, I got
He
him
was
too.
terrific.
Them
No
damn
worries.
Canadians, man. Everyone talks about the Aussies coming over here. You
He's
guys have got a rash,
Canadian?
and it's called Canada. I've been scratching it for years.
Yeah,
but
but they're kind of like our little brother, our hat. It's not that big a deal.
Just like a cap.
like your moleskin.
Like a cat.
But Barry felt like, I'm from New Orleans. He kind of felt like a guy from New Orleans. There was something about him.
New
He was-
Orleans.
I was gunning for Adriana and Barry to have some
That's what
chemistry
I
there.
was
I was like,
thinking.
ooh,
Me
pick him for
too.
baby daddy.
Yeah, Grant, what do you think?
Yeah,
I was
like
waiting
Barry.
for us. So what I wanted to do
Same
a scene
here.
with her.
Well,
Same here.
last time
I-
Katherine
I-
was
that would've
here,
been cool.
we asked her if there would be, a possibility of that. Well, unfortunately.
You did.
Somebody's dead.
Sadly,
I'm
Yeah.
dead.
you are so dead now.
Wait till episode 10.
He comes in with the heartburn face.
Right.
Yeah, with the whole Phantom of the
been
He's
Opera.
back from the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
like a good, great passion soap opera. You like that
Wow.
reference?
Yeah, that's a
you
good
like
one.
that?
Thank
Yes.
you.
But I like how you
Blair.
just set us up now to recap episode 10. So if anyone hasn't watched it, spoilers, we're going into episode 10.
Now we're doing it. Although, real fast, in episode 9, they plant the seed that Adriana wants to have a baby. So this becomes a
Plant
very...
the
seed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Really?
How long did it take you to
You're
think
welcome.
that?
Metaphor.
Yes. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Wonderful.
Thank you for that. So that was important because somehow Grace got looped into that storyline, and
That is so sick. I love that.
it was
It
sick.
is.
But
Very
also,
sick.
I don't know how you felt, but Grace was still being a little too mean to Adriana,
I
in
think
my
so.
opinion.
I agree
Oh,
because
the clothes, really?
Yeah, that was a little petty.
my ass,
That was
Grace.
petty.
Kiss my ass, Grace.
Wait, she's being too mean to Adriana? Adriana's
Yeah,
like,
Adriana's had her hand up. That
Yeah.
had been
Yeah.
puppeteering. You know what it's like to have a hand?
It's a nice reference.
It's not
It's
fun.
not good.
That's a
Yeah,
nice
I've heard
reference.
it from a friend's former roommate.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
So,
But
From
Grace,
the forefront.
so
Wait,
she's
your
gonna,
sister's
she's just
brother's
gonna,
friend
was a little
do
too
one
tight.
little thing. Like,
Grace
you
needed
screwed
my
up
hand
life.
up there.
Like, that
Grace
scarf?
needed my hand up there.
Yes.
It was a little too tight.
But
It was a little
with
too
this,
tight.
with the moment that Adriana and Annika had previously with that like motherly thing, you know, I was all for like Adriana, she's being so nice and sincere, all this stuff. But then these last couple episodes, I'm like, oh no, it's way too nice now. She's up to something.
And then, okay, so
So it
granted,
changed for me this week.
All right, it wasn't until the end, though, of episode 10 where I was like, oh, you know what I mean? That's when it
Oh.
happened for me. So the whole time I was really rooting. I was like, Grace is being so mean.
Yeah, well, even with her bringing the dresses over, having that moment with Annika, you know, it stirred up that motherly thing.
well, how
but
about
I
how
agree.
about the drug sequence with when she was high and the little girl and the
Yes.
mirror?
Yeah.
We're all wondering, is that
We
her
were
Right?
confused.
That's
younger?
not like if that doesn't get you a little bit, you have no
Right.
heart.
Yeah, was that her as a little girl, or is that about a child? Maybe
Right.
she lost a child? We don't know.
We didn't know, and now we.
What was your take, Catherine?
When you read it,
Yes.
What was my take? I honestly think it was pretty straightforward. I mean, to be
she's
honest,
like, "You're all dumb."
She's like, what scene are we talking about?
Impotent, and she was like, did
The
you not
mirror
get it?
and the kid.
Seriously?
What?
honestly,
Come on,
I
guys,
think.
catch up.
Listen, from an actor's point of view, to make the choice of it was something that you lost is a negative choice, which is okay if that's where you want to go. And to make the choice that, you know, it was a young you that you're reconnecting with is a positive choice, is an uplifting choice. And I just felt like that was the right choice to make at this moment in the show. It just felt like, you know, you just go where you're at, where the show's at and everything. I thought that's a good, better way to go than to go in this heavy way.
What if you
Like,
feel like you
go that
lost
way.
that young girl that you were,
I do. I think you're right.
He's blending
So
it
this was
together.
still a positive, though.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The swirl.
Yeah, that's actually easier to
It's a
sort
Middle
circle of life.
option.
Elton John
create
Broadway.
in your head
Right.
too.
Well, that
To
would
sort of
probably
like
be what I chose, what you said. Yeah.
Right.
That
Yeah,
it
that's
was
easier to-
myself that was lost.
create that than
I cheated. I talked to
some
her about
child
it.
that to take an
You
Eloise.
acted like you
instead
didn't know.
of-
You knew the whole
Right?
time.
Yeah, I was playing impotent.
Okay, so before we segue to episode 10, any
Oh,
other
we're not in
gems?
episode 10 yet?
No, this is still all episode
We even
9.
went back
Episode
another one. We
9
talking about the
had
drugs.
Yeah, there
everything
was,
in it.
Yeah.
there was
It had a
That
eight.
was
lot of
seven.
stuff.
That was
Seven or
eight. That was
eight.
eight. Yeah.
What else about 9? What else? What else?
We were watching it and we felt like episode 9 could have been the finale too. It was
I know,
very
kinda.
action packed.
Well, because of everything I think between
Yeah.
them, but I think there was a lot of stuff in the sense of the whole business deal
Right.
really didn't kick off in terms of finalizing the investor and is this really happening and
Yeah.
are Grace and Neil really going into business together and how is Adriana gonna circumvent everything and like inject herself in there. So anyway, I didn't think it was
Very nice.
Or be injected.
She's on tonight.
gonna use it.
on.
surprisingly.
Turkey
Bear.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anywho,
Yeah,
alright.
and actually there was just leading up to meeting up with the dad and everything. Like it sort of culminated in this sort of bromance thing that's been happening.
I
We
love
were
the
talking
bromance.
about this.
I said
Oh, well,
that.
yeah, sure.
And
I
this,
love
this
the
you know,
bromance.
understanding and this connection that kind of happened about these daddy issues and stuff.
Yeah. Almost father, son, almost
Yeah,
friends.
and almost brothers, like
Yeah.
kind of like going, I kind of know what you're going through, and I want to be there for you. And you're like, yeah, I can do this one by myself. Yeah, I'm killing him. So that's why
Right.
when Neil's not there.
Beat it. I gotta kill him.
Yeah, that's like saying, what's a canoe for? Like that thing.
How much more clear can I be?
How many many times did you have to film that scene of you guys brawling?
You guys were brawling all day.
Oh, really?
I can
There's a lot
tell you
of-
because I turned up later that night to actually film some of our night scenes, and these guys were exhausted.
That was
It was a tough day.
hot Georgia
Yeah.
summer day.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It was
no.
a
But
good
I have to say,
98 degrees.
I do think like we didn't have to do the actual brawling as much as I.
It was a
probably might have to.
long day.
It was a very
and
long
you
day.
were very
But that
tired.
scene was a long scene. It was.
It was a long
and it went
scene.
through
Yeah.
and it went through a
It
lot
was
of kind
far
of
away.
incarnations.
Mhm.
Was
Like it
far
started
from
out different than
town.
where it
was
ended.
a
Remember we
far
even added the
drive.
whole.
Yeah. Well, it was such a
It's true.
great
It's all true.
location that
Yeah.
they were taking advantage of it with a lot of crane shots, a lot of stuff we normally don't get.
Right. Right.
Just
How about the
beautiful day.
choreography?
The fight
Was it-
choreography.
Yeah, that was all.
Yeah.
You're like, that was all us. We're just that good.
I know, because it was like
The only thing that wasn't us was that that they actually used. 'Cause the stunt guys shot everything, but the only thing that wasn't us that they used was the actual fall from the one dock to the lower dock.
the
Everything else was
throw.
us.
Jumping
right.
forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I told Grant he should do it. I said I'd do it if you do it. And he didn't.
And
want to do it.
I told him if he'd gotten his weight down to a fighting weight, because he landed
Yeah.
on me.
So it
I'd
was
let
on-
him
it was
do
really on him.
But he had the extra 10
I
pounds
know.
on. I'm
Blair
like,
says
no,
not the
not gonna do
face,
it.
not the face.
Not gonna do it. Yeah, well, that's a given.
And Brad, you were making some comments about the dummy in the canoe earlier. I think you should share.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
tell us.
Tell us about the
I
dummy.
was
Canoe dummy.
kind of surprised at how much the dummy in the canoe looked like me.
Yeah, because let me tell you, it didn't look a lot like you.
It didn't.
with
It
3
didn't-
feet away.
It didn't look a lot like
Apparently
a
it was
human
like
being.
Wait.
the
3 feet
strong
away.
man.
Well, that poor guy.
And then
I mean,
from
you know,
afar,
he
it looked like
douses in the
Grant.
petrol and everything, and then they're like, "Okay, Grant, you get out. All right, mate, you're in."
Here, I thought it was
Here
you
comes
the whole
another
time.
I know.
I was
And
sure.
Georgia,
I was
you
like,
can
"Oh,
just buy
it looks
guys
like
that
me."
you can set on fire. It's weird there.
It's just like movie.
It's like the old days.
I figured as soon as they cut, he just jumped in the water and he was
Yeah.
cool.
Right. Right.
Do it
Yeah.
quickly. You were fast enough.
Old-fashioned
Just
method.
rolled it.
Yeah, he just rolled over in
It's
the
like,
water.
we don't even hang you down. You got a whole lake.
That's all.
Yeah. What
That's
a.
all you need. How about the scene where Adriana and Grace
Oh.
Shower?
seduce?
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that. Okay, so yeah, before we get to it, you get to it actually with Omar in the shower, and this was the
Yes,
confusing
darling.
thing too for me because suddenly, so Grace hates Adriana, but then is pinch hitting because Grace still I
He's
think
in love
has-
with Simon.
Yeah, yes. Well, not in love, but cares
Oh,
deeply
come
for
on.
cares deeply.
Please. Oh, yeah.
I think.
Well,
You were
the
in love with a
connections- I
guy
think
and then
the
you
connections
decide
are
you
too
just
strong.
care deeply from him. Maybe if he was your husband and he cheated on you and you got a divorce and time has gone on.
You're getting told right now. In love. I mean,
you know, you
it's
don't
like
just like are screwing a guy and are in love with him and then you're not in love with him, right?
But she stopped screwing him like a while ago.
Not that long ago.
But she
It was
stopped
only one
screwing him
season.
before she fell out
The
of love
point
with
that
him,
I'm making
so
is if
did
she
not
had
fall
a
in love
long relationship with him and then something bad happened and she had to get out of that relationship. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the show.
Like, then it would just be a friendship. Like,
no, I'm not saying
She
it's just a friendship.
rekindled
As
something
opposed
they
to a
lost.
good rape. Hey?
As opposed
You
to
don't
like
wanna
if
share
you've
so
been
much.
doing a guy
Let's
and
do
then you
this.
just stop doing him for 5 minutes, that whole flame is not exactly put out.
Okay, but here's the thing too.
I'm saying if you've had a long relationship where it's worn itself out, then he's a buddy. But Simon's not going to be a buddy to Grace. Let's face it.
Everybody's buddy.
Not everybody's
He's my buddy.
Everybody's buddy.
He's Lauren's buddy
I'm
and
gonna tell
Blake's
your
buddy and
fiancé
maybe
that.
even Khaliel too. Okay.
We're
I think
cool.
the show. I
Already.
think one of the major themes of the show that I think Sean Jablonski was really pushing on is this connection thing. Like, you know, it's not just sex; it's connection. It's not, you know, even the way that Simon and Neil, you know, well, you used to bonk my wife, but now they're
buds.
They're looking for connections in life,
Right.
And there's something I think that Sean's got in his head that's like this. There's some kind of reality in finding connections with people as opposed to all the morality and all the laws and, you know, all the things we surround
Don't you
ourselves in life.
think that
But yeah, I think they
it's
absolutely
kind
have a
of
connection.
open between those guys? I mean, that's not closed off.
No, I did not say
No, I
this.
think the connection is
I did not
absolutely
say
still
this.
established.
Yeah.
And I think that if Neil was threatened by that, he would have to sever it completely.
Yes.
But somehow they've started to acknowledge that we are, you know, an interweaved web.
Well, here's
What-
the thing.
What web we weave.
I see your point, but at the same time, I kind of feel like his character is just really like lonely and has never felt like a real thing.
Except
and
with Grace.
Except with
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
And
I can't
Emma.
say Grace has a mutual feeling
with
to
Emma.
that. Yeah, with Emma and Grace, like those are the two where it's like this is the closest it's ever come to being something real.
And he's still
So-
young.
I
But
was
even with
really,
Emma-
really hoping that I would end up being Simon's mother.
Really?
Wouldn't that be genius?
I love it, actually.
So
I do.
screwed up and insane. But it didn't happen.
Totally a whole new
Weird.
path.
It is a whole new path.
It's not over. It still could.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow! They
Well,
have set the
But
stage.
he knows his mom.
They did have
He
like
knows his
ghosts.
mom in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, the
But
episode
does he
10, that's
really?
true.
Maybe she was a
I think there's
pathological liar
room.
too.
Yeah, there's
Maybe
room
the both
for a
of
plot
them.
twist.
But all
yeah.
that's, I mean, are the ghosts real? Or is it just something in his head? You know, it's like, maybe he thinks that someone is his mother.
Oh no,
But
we're
he
diving
actually
into some
remembers
territory.
his
Maybe,
mother.
maybe the
Oh,
woman
yes.
that I was
He's
married
pretty
to
clear
when
that
he
it's
was
not
born.
Adriana.
I think our show just became like scribblings, like a beautiful mind.
I know.
On the wall.
What about this?
So, like,
What about pie? How about pie? I think it's more like pie.
Existential.
Yes.
It's the magic of champagne.
That's what it is. Okay, did you have questions about the shower scene between Omar and Adriana?
I just wanted to talk about it.
I have something funny to tell. Go on.
Yeah. Oh,
What's your
no,
question?
no, you go first.
No, tell us
no,
something
you.
funny
Yes.
to tell.
Yes. Dramatic pause.
There was this very excited body double that was there to play me in the shower
Oh.
scene.
Oh.
Any conversation that starts with there
A
was a
very
excited
excited
body.
And
body double.
I so desperately wanted to go home.
Oh.
And they were like, and then I was supposed to stay there for it to be my hand.
Oh.
Oh.
Going like
No
this.
one would have known.
Omar wasn't in there.
Oh.
It was just my hand. And then they ended up letting the body double do it. Who was very excited to do it, so it wasn't even me in there.
But that's all she got to do?
Oh.
Yeah, because you don't see
Anything.
much of
But
of
they
what's
don't
going
get
on.
to do
Yeah,
anything, so
just the
they're
hand.
very excited.
I felt that.
Well, that's
It has to be
Houston,
that. It
you
has
know?
to be that.
Yeah.
That's my hand, that's my hand!
Yeah.
You
Pause
can't
it, pause it,
you can't
pause it.
do
That's
that.
very exciting.
That's my hand!
You call your mom,
They're gonna go
invite
nuts.
everybody over.
That's
We're gonna have a
my
big
hand.
viewing party.
Yeah.
You know how many times you spend as an extra on a set? Hours and hours and days sometimes.
Right.
And you're like, that's the scene I was in. And you watch it and there's no...
Blake, they're
Where-
way
where
evolved
was I?
past
Where
that.
was I?
Like, I don't
That's
know.
just
Yeah,
us.
no, I don't.
That's just
Like,
us. We're still doing it.
So one shot
I'd love to see my hand.
Do you
that
know
on
that
my
there's a
resume.
little part of me is like, what if she does something like crazy with her hand? That I
Like writes everything off.
Or just
ruined my
like,
reputation.
oh, like too much, like something weird, you know?
Butt cheeks
And I was
on the
like,
glass.
right.
She did well.
Yeah, it was fine.
She
I
did well.
I was like, screw it. I just want to see Grant and the baby. I'm going home. And it was after we were there, like, it was after, like, I think I'd been there about 15 hours. I'm like,
Ugh.
she can do my hands.
Yeah.
That's
Fine.
That's just so interesting that they were very insistent on
That'd be your
hand.
They weren't insistent.
Well, look.
Or I mean, they are.
It's
I was gonna
beautiful
say,
hand.
I've
They're
seen
about
her
yes.
hand.
Yes.
You can't say, like Titanic spoiled it for everyone, so it has to be authentic. It's the hand that must be used.
It's
That's
the
right.
Titanic syndrome.
You're right. It's a high standard.
It kind of
Yeah.
is. You know, it's you can't splat and scrape anymore. No one can do that.
It's,
They're
it's like a science.
seriously,
It's a
Bob,
very
that's
precise.
Kate Winslet. No, you can't do that. Like girls have to come up with new stuff now.
Okay.
Gotta be like,
Hand acting is very demanding.
I've never seen that.
Like
in
a
shower
mime.
scene.
Never seen
a mime
The
and
whole
the
like,
mime.
standing by.
However,
You were so good.
Voguing.
Yeah, it's like the
Voguing.
we're going way back.
Yeah,
now
it's like,
now you
was
show
that
me the
you?
thing, the square. I forgot that.
Come on.
Here's another thing about body doubles on the show, however. So when we did the pilot, I had a love scene with Matt. I was 5 months pregnant. And we did a love scene, and there was a body double there. And I was, weighed probably 20 pounds more than I normally do. And I saw the body double, and I was like, no. I'm doing it.
Oh.
Going back
Love you.
to our former conversation, I would rather have a large, good butt than a small one that is not so
Not so
round.
good.
I
Not
will
so
say,
round.
actually, I'm gonna blow wind up your ass just for a second.
Please.
So yeah.
Remember, I'm right again. Right here.
I remember doing the pilot and going like, we were all kind of going like, man, this girl's brave. Like, I just met her this morning and
here she
she's
goes.
kind of brave and everything like that. And then I think we were doing like rehearsals and you just went, oh, screw it. I'll take mine off if you guys take yours off. And just kind of went for it. And from
Right
that
here.
moment,
Right here.
right? From that
I'll show
moment,
you mine. You show me yours.
That's right. My flow was already down. So, but from that moment, the crew, everyone felt comfortable.
Right.
Everyone was like trying to be there, like, you know, this is obviously a hard thing for an actress to do when you're at this moment in your life and everything. And then Katherine
Way
just
to
went,
be.
really?
Good job,
it's no issue
bro.
to me. Let's do this. And
I
then the
love
whole crew
it.
just went.
There's a kind
Oh,
of thing where
that's-
you have to like,
that's
it's,
cool.
you really
You know
have
what's gonna happen.
No, but also like I did a movie with Jude Law, and the very first day, I had to like attack him, throw him against the wall, and like look like I was going down on him. And I thought like, you can't like pussyfoot that, you know?
Amen.
True.
You know what is that? Freudian slip.
The exact
You have to
phrase
just
is
do
what
it.
is.
Didn't know
The thing
that
is
was
like
you, but-
the same thing with having this love scene with Matt pregnant. It's like you just have to go 100% into it, or otherwise everyone's going to be uncomfortable.
It's
But it's
true.
funny. There was this sigh of relief from everyone. It's like, you know what, this girl's got it. We don't have to take care of her. And as the guy being under her, I was like, oh, she's got this. You know, because there
Grant.
was, especially all the men in the room as well, are trying to be like, you know, they want to.
But do you know a
try
funny
to,
story
you know,
about
make
that?
this
Do you know
as
what I
comfortable
was
for you as
doing?
possible.
You don't know this because you were so he's on the bed, and if anyone remembers the shot, it's on my back, and then it comes around on us. So right before the take, I would have a sheet wrapped around me, and I use the sheet kind of over me and Matt, and then I wrap it around me in the scene. So I have the sheet, and so I would turn to get naked away, so it wasn't like flashing Matt. So I would turn to get naked away from Matt, and I would take off all my clothes, and then I'd pull the sheet on. Apparently, I was doing that into cameras that were on.
Wasn't it Kevin came out and went,
I would just
I do not
flash
think you're
the
doing what you
cameras,
mean to be doing.
my huge naked tits, and then like turn back to Matt all covered up. And I would be like,
It's like she was
I
leading
was
up to
trying to
number
be
one.
like, you know,
If-
polite to Matt, and I'd be like, woo, too much, you know, just be like, oh, okay, I'll turn my back.
There's only so much boob I
Take
can
this
handle.
off, wrap it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
The
Anyway,
cameramen
moving
were
on.
thrilled. It's fine.
Okay, so
The
Now that
camera
we're-
guys
They were like,
rolling.
you're good in that corner. Keep it in that corner.
just stay there.
They
Just
didn't
stay
tell
there.
me
Stay
until
there.
after we wrapped the
Of
day.
course
I
they
was
did.
like,
By the
oh
way,
my
though.
god.
Of course.
Okay, so speaking of body doubles, how much of all the sex scenes is it not you guys?
It's all us.
Really?
It's all us. It was all us. In fact, we were all so mortified when we read some of the scripts. But then remember when they were making us do the table reads? Yeah, but the good thing about the table reads is that we were like, oh my god, we're all effing everybody. When we went to the table read, we realized, oh my god, we're all in this. We all have to get naked. We all have to do all of this.
Except for Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Which would have
Because
been
that would have been
wrong.
crossing our line.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you were not on Showtime, so.
But that's a funny thing though, because this is such a physical, in the moment show. Like every single scene is. So when you're doing table reads, I mean, that's got to be so strange to just
Yeah.
be saying all this stuff.
Well,
when it's not
sometimes
even...
you catch the other actor's eye and go like,
You're like, wait,
yeah.
got it.
and Blair and I had to actually, like, someone had to, you know, like you do like with a cup at a party, you'd be like, no, that's someone to do a little mark on it, that's yours, because we didn't want to wear the same sock. You
Oh yeah, no.
can't be like, I can't wear the sock.
Well,
Because
no,
you
no,
gotta
we
that-
have to
like,
Blair.
no,
Go
no,
like,
no.
wait,
Yeah.
I
on
mean,
those
wait,
days
did
you go in
Blair?
your trailer and there's
That'd be a
like, with a
problem.
sock just hanging on it. Like, why do they even hang it up? Like on a coat rack. Like
Is this dry clean?
Just a sock.
and you
Someone
see it, you're like,
ironed
okay, I
it?
get it. I don't have to
Photograph it.
shit.
I need that picture.
You take it off, but
It's an extra Instagram
But they
that.
all look the same, and I'm like, is this Matt's? You know,
But
now-
no,
Can I
now
say
guys are
something
like,
that's
"This
gonna
sucks."
make you laugh?
Huh?
Stick it up your ass.
There are
That's
socks that
our
make you
concept.
feel uncomfortable because they're not safe. And there are socks that make you feel safe, but are not comfortable. Because there's a lot of sticky stuff.
Ew.
And there's always that
I'm very
moment at
curious
the end
about
of the day.
what exactly the
adhesive?
sock
They're
looks
custom
like.
cut.
You can be
Okay.
like, I felt safe all day, but then they're like, all right, that's a wrap, people. And then from the green, you hear this,
Oh,
trying to get the
no.
thing off.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Wait a
look.
minute, so then did you have to be like measured for your sock prior to filming or?
No, they take it. They
All
take
extra
like a
large,
bikini
all
underwear.
extra
That way
large.
they don't compliment and they don't,
Wait,
you know,
Oh, they
don't
give
diss you
extra.
either.
They give extra.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Because if they took your measurements and then went, all right, we got this.
Yeah. He's a
Quit the show.
he's a medium.
It's unacceptable.
That's right.
Yeah,
Wait a
but
minute. Okay, I've done a couple of love scenes in my life.
Yes, you have, Grant. Yes, you
We
have.
watch Devious Mates too.
The only thing I've ever worn that wasn't just sort of underwear, kind of manipulated around this way and that way the other was
You
when.
kidding?
No. Was one time in this movie I did years ago. They just sort of cut kind of bikini underwear and taped it to me.
No, not on this show, buddy.
Interesting.
What do
Well,
you guys
they
use?
show a lot.
Well, this would have shown everything
I mean,
except
like
for...
no bikinis were being
It's just a
worn there.
flesh-colored sock that is taped around.
I
Well, okay,
imagine
that's
like a
basically the same
little,
thing.
like a
This-
little drawstring.
Well, you know,
like
we thank God for the editors because they shot
It's
a
an
lot.
opaque condom.
We shot a lot more than they
It sounds
showed.
like it.
It covers more than
Yeah.
a condom.
Well, but this was like just
You don't
the
put
front
balls
of
in
a
a condom.
bikini.
Covers
But
the
I'm
whole-
trying.
Covers the jewels.
Well, speaking
And,
of
you know, she
And
just
the
mentioned
delivery
drawstring. They
So it's
first
a-
gave
like
me
a
one with a
little
drawstring.
jewel.
I never got the
It's
drawstring.
an opaque
That doesn't
condom
work.
that covers the
no.
jewels and the
The
delivery
drawstring.
Oh, it's a thing,
Don't
Lauren.
ever let them give you the drawstring.
No.
Oh,
If
no.
you get handed a drawstring,
You're
it's not
halfway,
going to
you're
work.
in the moment,
Why?
and then it's just like...
Maybe if you're sitting down at a desk naked, writing something, that could work. If you're doing a full-on thrusting
Moving.
sex scene,
It just
it's
comes
not
right
going to come
off.
off, and you try to tie it tight, that's not the answer. You know?
That's not
Very.
the
This
answer.
is so interesting.
This is
And this is what's
I
going
love
through
all
the
those
actor's
notes.
See, I have never
Yeah.
had to
When
do
it looks
any
like
of
we're in
this.
the moment, I'm just
Ever.
like, a girl's pulling your pants, and
Never.
it's like, please stop, don't come off.
Yeah, please stay on,
Stop, don't
please.
come off.
Oh God.
Mine's definitely come off
Yeah.
before.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
come off. It's come off a couple of times.
Yes.
It's almost come off.
That sounds like
Like,
a
oh,
Go
that's
straight back
where
on.
it is.
In episode 10, there's
Oh my God! In episode
there's a
10.
pretty
The
aggressive
opener.
opener.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
I'd say
chatting.
the most aggressive.
Oh,
Yes.
I'd say
Has
so
been
too.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah,
why
We were
I
all
like
chatting,
to
and I'm like, you
wear
guys- I'm
as
sorry,
little
shut
as
up.
possible. It's almost less uncomfortable. Where you're like, here it is.
I don't have to worry about anything coming
Right,
off. 'cause
falling
it's
off.
all
Yeah.
off.
Well,
You're like, here I am.
But there is a
Here
certain
I am.
level of, genitalia to
Yeah, you
genitalia.
I was going to say,
Right,
there's
right.
You know, we're not in
Girls'
this,
bits.
like,
You're not in porn.
guys' bits are different
Yeah.
than girls'
Right.
bits.
Yeah.
So, you know.
No, I
it
mean,
all works
I
different.
get it, but it's like some of it is almost more embarrassing than the actual part. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I don't know, some of it I find sort of silly. I
Well,
hate
also,
the nipple
you don't want
covers.
any
I think
actress
they're
have to
weird.
put up with your junk. You know? Like, no, it really does come down to that. You,
Yeah,
you
that's
were
true.
trained to be
Polite.
as polite and
Yeah.
joke your way through it as much as
Yeah.
possible. But at the end of the day, you want to be professional.
Right.
And you're like, if this thing comes off, you're gonna have my junk.
Right.
So,
Well,
so
Which is unfair to her.
Everyone
it
else.
is.
It's a moment where you take the liberty of calling cut.
They go back to their life and go realize that it's not as good.
It's very sad when that happens, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just think
Where
it's
does that
funny that
fall?
there's a communal sock area and that you're not like given your own individual one maybe to like
we
take
are.
with you.
Oh, no,
we
no.
don't like him to get mixed up.
Yeah.
Right. But
You take
you've
him to
got them in
cleaners
the
and
same
we wanna-
area.
See, that
Oh, wait a
look the
minute.
same.
After it
They're
was
all kinda
clean,
shaped
you
the
didn't
same.
want to wear his
Okay.
sock?
Yeah.
No!
Oh, you guys are the biggest
all
pussies
shaped
ever.
the same.
That's a pussiest
You
thing
just
I've
don't
ever
know.
heard.
Oh,
Right.
come
Well,
on.
that's
Would you not wear
concerning
his
to me.
socks?
Well, no. You
Like
would
socks
think
on
it
your
would be-
feet?
His socks don't
No,
go
it's
on his...
wiener sock.
Would
Oh,
you?
you guys
I
are
was
so
gonna say,
homophobic.
Would you
I'm,
wear-
I'm serious.
That's
you might be
crazy,
homo.
Grant. I'm
Would you
surprised.
wear? Would you wear your brother's underwear?
Absolutely.
If it was
Oh.
clean.
I don't
Clean?
like borrowing a bathing
Yeah.
suit from
What?
another guy.
After it's been worn a few times.
This is
After
fascinating.
it's
No,
clean,
this is-
yeah.
I gotta say.
I would never
Dude
wear
gets
my
up from
brother's.
playing footy
If
and, go,
I'm-
and you just go like, oh, there's a pair on.
No, he said if it was
If
clean.
it
Bit
was
of grass in
clean
there.
Where'd
and
you
I
grow
went
up?
to
You grew up in
work,
California, is that it?
I wouldn't care. What do you think?
Hey,
What do you think? His cooties are still on it?
No, but he's been thrusting himself.
Yeah.
But
In
it's
it,
been
all oiled
cleaned.
up.
I don't care
Yeah.
about that. I don't want to cross swords. I really
No,
don't.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
I don't want to
agree.
cross
It's a
swords
mental,
either.
It's
Yeah.
a mental
Yeah,
sword.
you
with-
guys are so
Cross sword.
homophobic.
It's
That's
one.
amazing.
It's one move away from them actually touching. It's like
Yeah.
kind of is.
It really
in your
is.
7
mind.
years of Kevin Bacon.
That's
The
all.
key
One piece of
point
cotton
is
away.
one move away. Yes,
You know what?
one
It's
move
just
away.
Right
occupational
now,
health and safety.
you're like 3 steps away from actually touching.
I don't know
I
what
can
he
deal
was
with
doing.
three.
I can't do it. He doesn't know what I was doing. So
It's
you know,
a gray area.
You just want to keep it.
Safety purposes.
Yeah, it's occupational health and safety.
All right. So speaking of crossing swords, I think it'll be interesting to hear a little bit about what your reaction was when you read that like this bromance was going to start brewing in season 2, because you leave off of season 1 and I certainly didn't think, oh, these
Those
two
two would be
are gonna
hitting it off.
and then have sex parties together. Like no biggie.
Yeah.
No,
Sure, we'll
it
tag
was-
team, no problem.
It completely threw me. I was because this is especially through the whole of first season. Neil had the burden of knowing his wife's betrayal.
Right.
Grace didn't have that weight
Right.
until the last couple of episodes when she started to buckle underneath this. Neil knew, and then of course what happens in season 2. So it was I couldn't foresee. I'm really glad that they didn't actually say so. Season 2, Neil and Simon are just best buds because I'd be like, I don't
get it.
Yeah, I can't
Right.
see that happening. This guy's been a demon almost in Neil's life. But it was kind of cool in the way it happened because Neil was trying to make sense of his own decisions and stopped seeing Simon as this gigolo.
Right.
Because he was actually having to realize stuff about why he was doing it and realize, oh, okay, he sees something in this other guy that's like, oh, okay, it's not just about sex. You weren't just bonking my wife. There was this connection thing.
Sure.
You cared.
But I mean, and they found themselves both kind of lost guys in this place together, and went, I think, I think it would have gone very differently if Simon was a different person or Neil was a different person. If they were two run by their own egos or two, but there's a vulnerability in both of them that I think they couldn't deny. Just being a bit empathetic.
I preferred you guys broing it out together.
I think most audiences did. That was my consistent feedback first season was people liked our scenes together. So when I read them, my thought too was that if they can justify it, if they can bring some truth to these two becoming allies, great. But
because my favorite scene is still the first scene we have together in the pilot.
Yeah, I think
where it's the most humiliating moment that a guy can imagine.
Yes.
Because we all imagine if we find some guy doing that, we think even if you're the tiniest little shrubbiest guy, that the Furies will come in and you'll just grow these incredible muscles and you can just take out the biggest dude in the world because you have justice on your side. And so Neil has the most humiliating moment of his life, and then more so, this guy actually takes pity on me and goes like, oh, no, don't.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's
Don't
insult
worry.
to
Like,
injury.
I'm for sale. Don't
He's
worry about
such a good guy.
Well, that was the trick about that scene. Was
Yeah.
to not make it just the
To
asshole
not make everybody
slept with the
hate
guy's
you.
wife.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
And the more empathetic he was, the more pitiful
Everyone
and horrible it was for Neil. So that was a great dynamic.
Yeah.
That was a crazy scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can talk episode 10, I think. I guess now, at this point, everyone watching, turn it off. The big doozy...
This is just for us.
The big doozy in episode 10 is basically, the moral of the story is Adriana hijacks spermies from Neil.
We call it sperm rape on set.
Well,
That's what it was.
poured my...
Jumping right to it.
Yeah. Oh no! It was a real life reenactment right here, guys.
Got Grant to do your dirty work this time.
Grant's like, I'm right here!
Right here.
That was actually, I didn't see it coming. But
She called it.
She called it in episode 9.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lauren called it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good call.
Yes.
Good instincts.
I really did not see that. And, I mean, obviously when that scene was happening, I knew she was on, she was, here, have another drink, here, have another drink. I mean, it was literally like, what's going on? Is she gonna I thought she might rape him. I didn't know. But then I was like, no, because if he's out of it and...
She brings out the little test tube.
Right.
Yes.
I'll take care of this myself. I know. I never know Adriana's true intentions. I feel like no matter what's happening, even if she seems like she's meaning well, I'm like, no. Something more devious is at play here. So even though we didn't quite know what was happening, it wasn't good.
I sort of figured that I was going after Neil when I was asking Grace in episode 9. Well, like when I read episode 9, I don't know what's going to happen in episode 10.
Okay,
So,
right.
so I sort of felt like, for me, it was like a T. Like, I've got to be looking to have Neil's baby. But
I really
didn't know
thought it
I was
might be
gonna
Barry.
sperm rape him.
I don't know.
I was going for Barry a little bit, but when Adriana went over to Grace's with the folder, I'm like, oh gosh, is it going to be just folder pictures from Neil? And like, she's just going to be like, ha 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 ha,
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
good.
But no.
Yeah.
that would have been so
That is
weird.
good.
Yeah.
Real
There's
weird.
something that I've always really enjoyed about Adriana is that she can be villainous, despicable, and like the master of chaos on one hand, and on the other hand be this like vulnerable person needing connection and family in her life.
But I think
And I don't think she knows
Just
how to
like
marry
this
the two.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly, like Simon, yeah.
And we all do it in very different ways. Some of us that don't happen with rekindle.
But I do think the thing I like about Adriana is that, I mean, I like playing her. I'm fine even if she was just totally bad. But I think that what's interesting about her to me is that she is the one character that sort of, it's almost like doesn't have to deny any part of like the human condition or like our
That's
ego
true, yeah.
and like what we really are. Like I feel like she's kind of the one person that can accept all of a person. You know, not be uptight and try to block out all these different parts. I feel like on some level that character's needed, you know?
Well, I've always thought about her, the vulnerability I've seen in Adriana is she also, there's some need in her to justify her life as well.
Oh, sure.
So when Neil and Grace end up going like, you know what we have is real, that's almost more spiteful on Adriana, not the mere fact that, you know, we kind of thumbed our nose at her, but the mere fact that like, no, she has a, like, it seems to me she has like this desperate need to justify her life and her life choices.
Yeah.
So that she can't face the hurt and pain or whatever that might entail. That
I've
you've got to
always
surround
thought
yourself.
that she was
she
driven
needs
by
to surround
loss.
herself with chaos.
By
like
loss.
Terrible loss, terrible abandonment, terrible loss.
Yeah, like she's almost been kind of cornered into this lifestyle that she has now through circumstance and maybe choices that she's made in her life, whatever it may be. That's what's kind of causing her to live this lifestyle.
I even think like as a child like that there's like deep abandonment issues, like deep
Right.
loss, deep abandonment.
And we learned, I think, in episode 9 or 10 probably, that her father left when 6 years old or something like that. And then I think
If it's
previously,
Passed away. He passed away.
if it's true, you.
Oh, Adriana.
That's right. Dang it.
You never
Fell for
can
it.
tell.
Fell for it.
There is this little Black Widow thing in
call her
there that could be
Adriana?
like, did he die?
Adriana.
Did he die in mysterious
Adriana?
circumstances? Well,
He might have died
he
in
shouldn't have
mysterious
touched my milk.
circumstances.
Yeah.
All right, so simultaneously, as all this is going on, there's a lot of stir with Neil and Grace's potential escort business, kicking off an online venture for the escort industry, and they need an investor. Barry is the person that they identify as best candidate since he partakes in this whole thing.
Well,
it is a little eyes wide shut when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
Well, you took your mask off at the end, so
Gotcha.
Which is that's exactly
I
what we
saw
were
my lawyer there
saying.
that night. That's kind of
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
like he was judging Neil, like, oh, well, you do this thing with the masks and all this, but like he was there too to see Neil.
Yeah.
So like, where's the judgment? What are you talking about, guy?
Like,
But then again, he obviously he was playing that kind of magnate. He has a lot of money and everything, so he was always interested because obviously that's something that he was drawn to himself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
yes.
And if he wasn't in any way or truly judging it in any way, I think Barry's interested. He wants to know how, and then especially as he finds out, well, you guys are married now. How does he starts saying like you guys
Right.
are dishonest, but really it always looks like all these people are kind of asking of each other. It's the same thing from Neil at the very start. He doesn't just cut his wife off and smash it down. He just starts asking, well, what's this all about? What is happening?
What is this all about?
And scene.
Yes. Just getting cozy.
I'm not
Wonderful.
wearing a sock.
So Adriana kind of kiboshes everything with Barry. She kills that deal.
Yeah.
And we think it's because, well, she wants in on the deal. She's thinking, I want to be the investor. And Neil this is the part that was so weird to me because there was so much of a lot of the episodes where suddenly you guys are like reaffirming that now you're all a family. All of you are just a family.
It was just hints for the end.
Yeah.
I
feel
get
like
it.
just
I mean, I get it
creepy
on some level.
foreshadowing.
But then there was so many things that really did make us all believe.
It
Oh,
was a little creepy, wasn't it?
Real-
They were
a little
family.
creepy.
I was still a little creeped out by that.
oh
Well,
no, yes.
like,
Well,
But
I always
actually-
thought it was they slept together, like everybody.
Well, it is,
Don't
you
do
know,
that.
the webs we
Eskimo
weave,
brothers.
you know, when at
Yeah,
first
yeah,
we
yeah.
decide to deceive. So
Me and
these are the webs
Matt
that
and I
they're
have
creating.
not slept with Simon. That's the only.
That's the only combo that hasn't happened.
Although
Well,
there was
you
one
did
thing in the
have
scene.
a time in the same room with Simon.
She was
You
on-
guys
we had
didn't.
this
Swords
table
didn't clash.
read.
They interlocked hands while they were.
Well, we
Yeah,
had
that was
this
it.
table read, and on this, and in the script is, it's the morning after, you know, then they're both having their morning after pill
That
coffee,
fucking
And-
coffee thing.
and there was this thing, and it was written in there that they both go for the coffee and touch hands and look at each other, and I'm sitting there going like,
Look at
Really?
each other in
No,
what
we got
way?
together.
well, it doesn't
right
say
away
because
on
it's a
that
writer's way of just going like, this is a moment.
Make it what you want.
And I do remember us having like this whole conversation with the guys in LA and going like, what story are we telling? Okay, I get that. And then how how would you like us to touch? And so that we tell the right story.
Yeah.
So
very
and they ended up not
interesting.
even using it.
No, exactly.
Yeah, we shot it so that it was pretty
We
funny,
didn't convince him without touch.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been sort of a game changer, I feel like, to now view Neil and Simon in that kind of
that
way.
wasn't. I don't think that was a
Also?
But these two
I don't
guys who
think that
all
was
wear
the
the
point.
same sock.
No, it
would never
season
happen.
3.
And I know it was never. They were never telling that story.
Yeah, that was never the intention,
Okay.
but we didn't want that to be a mistake.
Right.
Yeah, and there's and actually it became this kind of very
I'm in a false lead.
Boise kind of guys going like, oh no you get that. No,
Right.
I mean I didn't want coffee anyway, and but
Grace.
in the end, I mean you do shoot so much that becomes
Sorry.
unnecessary.
Gotcha.
You know, because once you've shot it all,
Right.
then you don't know what the episode's going to look like until you actually see it.
No.
Once the editors
No,
got
no.
in there and the studio and the network and everyone's had a say, and then it comes in and goes, oh, they didn't use that shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big fight we didn't need to have.
All right.
Another advantage of AfterBuzz TV. We're just live. Yes, we are.
I know.
Okay, so you scoff at Adriana's investment. You go to Simon, and this surprised me also. You were like fired up, and we're not having the idea of now that you're running Waverly Industries and now you've got tons of casho.
I mean, it changes things.
It does change things.
love
I mean,
casho.
he always had money though. They always, I think, made it clear that Simon had money.
But there's a big
Well,
difference between
I know, like
Simon money
$100,000 in the
Waverly money.
bank
Yeah.
and 100
Right.
million billion.
Yeah.
Actually, Simon.
He didn't
only
really.
kind of checked the
That's
check.
Yeah.
because-
He was
Yeah, I
spending
remember
a
him
lot
saying
of
in
money
episode 2
and
of
bringing a
first
lot
season.
in.
He said
brings
he
it
had
up to Neil.
$600 in his bank account, and I was like, and you drive a Porsche?
Right.
I
He's the
think
kind of guy
it
that
was pretty established that Simon wanted to do it by himself. That really did. Whatever happened, he ostracized himself from, well, we know what happened.
Right.
He slept with his dad's wife.
It happens.
So who is the bad guy here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so but in my mind,
That's
I
what
really
I'm
thought
saying.
that I thought that they had a pre-existing relationship. So, and I even said that when Nikki
Yeah.
Whelan was here, we were talking
did.
about that, and I was
Yeah.
like, I felt like they knew each other before Arthur knew.
Got in the
Emma.
mix.
Yes, that's true.
Right.
So
Which
I thought that
negates
you
what
actually
he's saying.
stole Emma from him. That's what I was
Well,
thinking.
that just proves how wrong you are.
What do you know, Allison?
Like, we don't even have to bring up the fact that she was barely out of her teens, and he married her.
Daddy walked in on a plane.
Was she out of her teens?
Just thought,
Barely.
Maybe.
There's still no law against that.
Oh.
There is no law against it.
I'm like, ooh.
and you
realize
end
you
up
have
in
a
a
daughter.
Yeah.
By the way, I do know of a true story of a very famous director.
Yes.
Oh, tell us.
Married. His wife was
I
dating
worked with him.
his son.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Who?
His wife
I'm saying.
was sorry. This is another jigsaw.
His
okay, wait,
wife
no.
was dating the
Oh, I don't know
director's
that guy.
son. So
The director's
Oh.
wife.
I think I know the other
Son
director.
to another.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, ew,
Hey,
no,
don't you talk
no.
about me.
Who was that? Tell me later.
She's like, I don't
Afterwards.
kiss and tell.
I know a famous
Some-
director who
some
was dating a
whispering will go
woman
in
who
afterwards.
got killed and then
Oh.
started
We all know that
dating
person.
her sister.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, well that's.
I think I might know that one too.
I
we'll,
can,
we'll talk after the
That's-
cameras go.
Yeah, satisfaction,
We'll sort
a
this out.
reflection of a mirror.
I
Yeah,
guess.
there you go.
It's a mirror to
Of
life
Los
and
Angeles.
and happiness. Okay, so because these deals are now falling through, Simon thinks to call. Well, he gets in the mail. He gets like I don't know, an NDA or some contract to sign. The blogger writer that
Yeah.
he had slept with weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
She has
They want
resurfaced.
they want his life
Kate.
story.
They want
Yeah.
Neil's life story. It's so fascinating that they want that. And he goes to see her, says, hell no, like no. And then has the great idea, maybe I do need to do this now that both Adriana, Barry, and Simon are not going to fund my venture. But then I was thinking too, can't you fund your own venture?
Well, yeah, that's never been a kind of issue. You kind of think like, well, it looks like Neil's been doing pretty well. It looks on the side, but it does look like, you know, if he's going to hire out, you know, the office space.
Why did you need the Bastion office space, by the way?
I know.
It's a
Well,
beautiful
because they
office.
already had it
Set
built
was
in the
built.
stages.
Yeah, that was our thought. Was like, since Victor is now in prison or wherever he is from
Yes.
the whole
Yeah.
trading fiasco.
Shout out to Spencer.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad they went down that road, though. Actually, because there is no financial fund that you know a business that can exist pretty much after the top dog has been known to be funneling money or whatever.
Yeah, true.
So when
right.
that started to happen, and then like, oh, Neil's now going to take over, and it's still just going to exist as this incredibly successful thing. I do remember calling Sean and going like, "This,
no,
that doesn't happen in real life." The slightest bit of doubt, you're like, take my money.
And we saw all the clients jumping ship.
Yeah. Right.
So presumably, who's left? And Neil really might be hurting for a paycheck at this point.
Well, I think that was the story.
Yeah.
That really. I don't think they were going to lose the house or anything, but it was more so their dream there.
Yeah.
And I thought there's a nice dose of reality in amongst all this passions type, architecture of the show.
Yes.
In that, like, no, you just can't start up a Ma and Pa's escort service and it'll all be follow the yellow brick road.
Out of the basement.
Follow. Anyway,
real grassroots.
Yeah, there's a reality to it
A lot
that
of
could
people are into
be.
midgets. I just gotta say.
Insta space.
Everyone has
Wait,
that
so
thing.
what's
Yeah.
the
Not
Insta? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
I'm not into them. I'm just not into it.
Right.
We got
You're
you.
into
We got
her. How about
There
that?
you go.
Great.
Could have got myself in trouble there.
Safe zone. Yeah. There we go.
We got you.
Yes, admitted my wife.
I feel like you had a thought. Were you finished
It's
with your
long
No,
thought?
I was just blankly looking at you. I'm sorry.
You can do that all night. I don't mind. All right. So we get a very, very amazing drunken romp with him.
I have nights like that.
Khaliel totally, he knew.
You feel that?
I've been there.
You see yourself inside?
I've been there.
Happens.
Connection
Kill
of
your dad and just wake
everything.
up in Casino
Happens to the best of
Royale.
us.
And that basically leads him to tell Grace that he killed his father. So that was interesting. And then, of course, Grace did tell Neil, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait,
No, she didn't.
No, she kept.
Oh, she kept it tight-lipped.
Yeah,
Good job.
and
Good job.
Grace is the good girl. and
Well,
Adriana's
let's
the
not go
bad
that
girl.
far. She didn't come tonight, so I don't know. Like,
Oh.
I mean, once
There's
again,
always
this
next
whole
season.
show is about the webs we weave. Even when you're trying to, douse your life in honesty.
douse your life, like douse Arthur's burned body.
I mean, we
Yes.
killed someone in episode
doused
1
before
of season 2.
Yes.
And then just
Doused
went
first.
onwards and upwards.
Yes.
But
We
you know,
began the
and
episode.
went to the fixer. She came in and said,
in the
"I am the
world
cleaner."
that we're living in, this guy came after you. You killed him in self-defense. He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
It's
you
fine.
so read the script.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
But we also then we finish with
Yeah.
someone going like, okay, everyone knows that everyone thinks he's already dead, but he's dead. So the only thing left
Right.
living from that is the conscience that sits within this guy who's gone a bit out of control with that decision.
But as a viewer, we entered season 2 and exited season 2 with murder.
Yes.
We did.
And sperm.
And birth.
Yeah.
Not birth.
There
wait,
was sperm smeared all over the whole season.
Impending birth.
Yeah.
I want to
agree
know
with
what
that.
was
You got
in
a
the
black light
sperm
on our
cup.
stages.
What was in there?
Oh yeah.
How do you guess
How do you
this?
make TV sperm?
Yeah, how do you make TV sperm? What was in the jar?
I don't even.
Silence.
Did I ever
Did you ask
I don't think there was.
Like
Was there?
Cetaphil face cleaner. I feel like that would work.
Vaseline? Like what's like?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Vaseline is
Mixed
too.
with-
It's not.
But they could
viscous
like
enough.
they could dilute
Yeah.
maybe.
No, it's,
No, they
it's
can't
oil.
cut that?
It's not water
There's a
soluble.
light mayonnaise. There's a light mayonnaise.
There you go.
Light
There
mayonnaise.
you
The
go.
right viscosity.
Interesting.
It's much
There you
more
go.
like
Does
Cetaphil.
They're gonna
I
ask
mean,
the
Cetaphil.
same
That's what I'm
question.
saying.
Yeah.
Cetaphil.
They're gonna ask the same question on Inside the
Cetaphil.
Actors Studio.
Cetaphil. Yeah.
We should figure
Cetaphil
it out.
face wash.
You should know this
Use
now.
it every day.
Okay, so when Michelle was here, she said that you were a big jokester, like you played jokes on everybody.
I could see it.
Who are you looking at?
Matt.
You said it, and then you looked at
And
me.
you. Well, no, because I wanted to go around and I wanted to ask what he did to you guys, like what your favorite prank on you he did, if he did one. No, you don't get.
If anything, she was.
She was the
She was
prankster?
more the prankster. She knew I was feeling pretty low one week, and I came into my trailer, and went to visit the little boys,
Yeah.
and there was like this loo monster. So you pick up the lid, and the
She
thing
told us
goes,
about this.
it looks like a really nice smiley pile of crap
Okay.
that's reaching for you.
Hilarious.
A loo is
So
a
that
toilet
was-
for
yes,
this
cool.
American.
But then I would go and hang my sock that I
The
used
sock.
in there spontaneously in Stephanie's. Like I would find out where their wardrobe was, because the wardrobe girls would come in, and put their wardrobe up in your room.
Okay.
And so on the front of every one of those, every now and again, I just put my sock. And
Attach
until they
it.
got onto it, they were kind of like, what am I doing
Why do I have this? Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake. It's like, oh, that's not.
It was very intentional, in fact.
Okay, so there was not a lot. Okay, so she.
My sock got around. It really did. Everyone had to go with that.
All right. I also want to
Tara
know.
sucked.
I also want to know what your like favorite moments from season 1 and season 2 were, filming wise. We got a little about this with Katherine when she
favorite
was here,
scenes
but,
to
like,
film,
favorite
all
scenes,
sorts of stuff.
or favorite memories of each season. Like what pops into your head.
Well, yeah, my favorite memory from the pilot was our scene
Right.
on the side of the road. I think we filmed that all day.
So romantic.
And it was freaking cold.
Yeah.
I had a wetsuit
Props to
underneath
him.
that.
I mean, yeah, he was going
suit.
in a puddle of water.
Oh yes, you
Yeah.
kept them. That looked rough.
It was like it was the middle of December
Oh.
in Atlanta.
Oh my
Oh man, talk about shrinkage.
Yeah.
That's
Could they have picked a worse time to film that?
Oh no, I was going in that pool in the pilot on 24-degree days.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were like, okay, we need to do it again. There's too much steam coming off your body. You're like, oh.
So you let me just
Be
fix
colder.
that. Yeah.
Thanks.
And second season, I had a lot. It's funny because Stephanie and I were doing so much together in the first season, and then the first half of the second season we barely saw each other.
right.
Same with us.
No, you were out doing your shenanigans with it.
No, but I mean, in the first season we had so much together, and then the
Yep.
second
No, that's
season
right.
we weren't together either.
Well,
You were all
Neil
with
really
Simon.
cut off. It's almost like he got these, the rose-colored glasses came off, and he saw Adriana for what she was, and very much almost like that.
I keep telling him he's wrong.
A master of chaos, but still, the connections are still there. You can't,
Can't escape.
no, you can't. You can't just shake that stuff
Once
off.
you've had the Adriana, you can't.
It's
really
like
go back.
herpes. There's no cure.
There is
She's
no
with
cure
you for life.
That's it. You got to tell everyone where you've been.
She comes along.
All right, so Katherine, I mean, we had a lot of conversation about scenes, but was there any favorites from first season to second season for you?
I just had a thought. No, I can't remember it.
Okay, we'll move on to Grant, and you
Oh, you had your first one today. Oh. Oh, we've been waiting for that
What
one.
was it that
Right
was
here.
so fun?
Right here.
It was so fun this year.
Grant, for you, because I know Katherine sort of was instrumental in you taking on the role of Arthur. So were you stoked at being the pathological liar dad that you became?
Yeah, I heard about the character. I was like, it's not really, I didn't think it was for me.
I thought you did. I thought you were perfect.
Thank you.
I did too.
But she
not
went
just saying
to Sean and really kind of pitched me, and when I saw a little bit of interest, like, yeah, I
I
would
didn't
love to
pitch
do
that
it.
hard. I said, what about Grant? And he said, would that be weird? And I said, no. And then I sent him a picture I'd taken of Grant at dinner, and he was like, in this gorgeous Marc Jacobs suit with this like white shirt, and his hair was all foxy, and he was like this
That
on the
was,
table. And I
He just oozed asshole.
Yeah.
Rich,
real life.
He said, hired.
We all got our asshole headshot.
And I've always thought that there was something about those guys that were like just knowing them. And
Right.
so I thought that must
Wait,
read.
and you know what it is? I'm sorry to say, but you know what it is that we are similar about?
What's that?
You were
Our
both on a.
dorkiness.
Oh.
We're both
We do,
a little bit
we
of
do have a
dork.
competing little
I was
bit.
gonna say it's because
But
they
you
were
wouldn't
both on.
expect.
They were both on
It's like
different
stealth
versions of.
From you, yes. I'm not going to say you wouldn't expect it from me, but from you, I would not expect it.
Go on.
Yeah.
They were both on different versions of 90210.
That's
Yes,
true.
Yes, we
we
were.
did.
They're both
Yeah.
really.
That's adorable.
They're
I'm the only one that
very
gets it.
They're both really hot guys.
That have no cool at all.
That
Again,
are
fooled
really
me.
good guys. They're sort of. I feel like their
you.
looks are. There's something about them that in both their sort of morality and just the way they are with guys and just the whole thing that says something about their essence that feels really similar.
It's funny. You can insult a guy any way you want as long as you put, but they're both really hot guys.
Yeah.
Like, now you can say whatever you
Say
want.
whatever you want.
But they're
Disclaimer,
both
don't-
really hot.
She
That
claims
is
that
good
both
to
of
know.
them
when she was
he said they were dorky. I didn't say they were dorky.
Well, she says that when she was looking for a man, she once told a friend that she wants a sexy nerd.
She told us
She
that
told us that.
actually.
Yeah.
We are
She said she found the
vouching
sexy
for
nerd.
that.
Thank
Great.
God she thinks I'm sexy. But
Yeah.
boom.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, nerd
Perfect.
is not a bad thing. Nerd's not a bad thing.
Nerd is
Come
in
on.
Oh,
right
this
now.
is my
Star
favorite.
Wars.
Nerd.
This
We
is
all
my
want a
favorite
Big Bang
scene this
Theory.
year.
Yeah.
My favorite. My
Like what I give
favorite
it.
scene this year was when we got to go out to the hippie camp and I got to tase that little
Yes!
dork.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was
Julian.
great. Yeah, I loved
We
it.
didn't
I love that hippie camp, but I also thought that there
Did-
should be a rainbow there from
like-
that. Yes.
Yes.
I
that
loved
one place.
all the stuff with Julian because he was like this worm that we could all hate.
Oh.
And I
And he
just
was so
loved it.
clean,
They
which
made him
actually
so
allowed you to
clean
hate
cut,
him more.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
were talking about that.
Yeah,
That he was
like,
way
ugh.
too clean cut and
He's like a preppy.
shaved and
Yeah,
stuff
but
to
Yeah.
be this
Just-
And in
hippie
real life, that's
cult
exactly what
leader.
he was. He was like very well spoken, incredibly polite. Just so great.
So you didn't like him in real life?
No, you just like you just like it's really great to meet you. I can already tell you're a dick.
Also, the set was
What a
so
welcome.
beautiful. It was a real
Really nice guy.
set out in the woods, so you kind of were. That's always enchanting when you go to a set and it's like you're not on a soundstage and it's really gorgeous. So
And it's
it
a
was
hippie
that.
camp.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
real hippie camp, and there was stuff that they cut out. Remember that guy? We weren't there. There was like
Yes,
the
the
guy was
guy.
like, you can say anything you want. There was all these bearded guys because everyone has a fucking beard now. And I was like, oh look, Rip Van Winkle. Apparently he's had a long day. Oh, watch. Excuse me, lumberjack. I'm just gonna step over you here. You know, there was a lot of ad-libbing about the lumberjacks all the way to the airstream.
You weren't on that set though at all.
The hippie camp?
You didn't even get to
No.
see it.
No, I didn't have
or
to work on
participate in the right.
No.
Okay,
It felt as
actually,
if there might be a lot of
when I was
chiggers
dancing
there.
around with the fairies, it's like the day changed. We shot all these scenes where we went into the where we were in what was his name? Damien?
Julian.
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 Julian. They're all
I concur. I think I called him David.
Yeah. And we're in the van and everything, and then it hit past midday, and Atlanta just went.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes.
no.
And so when I was dancing with the fairies, they were always like, it was so great. They were all like having a great time and doing all this kind of stuff, and they'd cut and they'd be like, like pouring sweat.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a good
I was
Atlanta,
there at night.
Atlanta summer.
It was a good Atlanta
Oh,
summer.
I could imagine. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Humidity.
favorite
I'm from South Carolina. So
Ah,
I know.
yeah.
favorite scene for you this season? Was there like any?
I liked all the drug stuff.
The drug stuff.
Let's actually talk about
Those were
that.
good.
When you
Good
read
scenes.
episode 8, what was going through your head? Because we talked about this with Michelle, but I want to hear your thoughts. Because watching it, I was a little bit like, okay, all right.
There was a lot
Was that-
of
Those are my
like
favorite.
drug stupor happening.
We also
Oh, the
didn't know-
psychedelic episode you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
I really liked. It was a drug that we've never seen before, and it was like it was nothing that we could relate to. It's
Right.
like that's
Yeah.
not acid, that's not speed, that's not, or at least is what we know of those drugs. But I think that they created a drug that had its own kind of mythology to it. It was
Right.
it was consistent with all three of them.
And
I
we
thought-
were all trying to read into all the different things happening,
Yeah.
like, oh, the koi fish jumping out
I
of
think
the
that's
stage,
It was
like
exactly what it
everything.
was.
It was like dreams. They were. It was like they were dreaming, and I don't know. I bought it.
It was a beautiful
I
way
bought
of,
it.
of,
Oh,
of peeling off a layer and leaving it relative to what you think you saw.
Right.
So no matter what any character was going through, yeah, I think it's like a way of making the audience lean in and start saying,
I
I
definitely
think
did.
maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's because you know these people are traveling in such a world, a web of lies and secrets and things that you know, in that kind of drug, it's still a very vulnerable moment. I mean, you walked on water.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was-
You
yeah.
walked like JC.
She walked like a dancer, actually. I was watching.
We were like, "How'd she do it? It looks
Yeah.
dangerous. Is she safe?"
I'm like, what happens with me? They're like, oh, these
So many
fish start
questions.
doing this.
Yeah.
What is she doing? Oh, she's walking on water.
Yeah, we were a little nervous.
Yeah,
or at
sorry,
least-
she's walking on water.
She's like, what else would I be doing?
We didn't know if you were going to kill yourself.
I know. I was a little
Yeah.
nervous that she was gonna
She
walk
does it
out
at
there
home
and
all the
just
time.
drown herself.
Don't I feel you?
I
It
was
was literally
really
like
stressed.
they were like, okay, they were so worried about it. Then we ended up putting like something that's like a stick-on bandage on the bottom of my foot. It had a little bit. They had all this stuff planned out, all these flip-flops and all this shit.
Mhm.
And I was like, what
Flip-flops.
about? It was literally like,
Like a skid-proof.
Like a pasty.
Yeah.
Probably had a lot of those lying around.
you know what
Like
it
those
was?
ballet
You know what it was?
Hundreds
I
of them.
put moleskin on my foot.
Okay.
The
They
stick
were
on,
afraid-
how it
afraid
has
you were
a
gonna
stick
slip
on
on the-
thing. I just stuck some moleskin here and some moleskin there, and I was fine.
Okay.
And by the way, they
Because
say
it
it's for your
absorbs
safety.
water.
But every time an actor like accidentally falls in a pool or something like that, they know each hour of television costs an exorbitant amount of money,
yeah.
It's
and
not
they
about
know
safety.
that after you've fallen in a pool, to get you looking back
Oh,
like
right.
that again is like, okay, well, everyone take a 45-minute break.
Because you're not
At
really going to
least.
hurt
So
yourself.
Yeah.
that's when they're coming up and going, no, for your own safety, put these on. And they're literally going, no, so we can go back and get a beer tonight. Please put these on.
Like,
Yeah.
hurry it up.
But it's funny, they had all these ideas, and there's one thing that I know, it's my feet. From being a dancer, you know, like
You're
what
so
your-
sure.
You know what your, like your
Yeah.
feet have to feel right. And I thought, I know moleskin, and I know that it's going to absorb a little water. It's going to give me that right traction. I'm like, get away with the contraptions. Let's just take some of that moleskin that the customer has in her bag
There you go.
and stick it on my feet, and it was great. You just need a little drag.
We were still nervous for you.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous thing. though.
JSYK. Yes.
It was fun.
Okay, we need to move on to your favorite scene from season 1, season 2. What comes to mind?
Well, season 2 is pretty easy.
I like it.
Yeah, well, I had, as they know, I had one of the coolest moments shooting anything that I've done before, because I don't think you guys know this, but my real life mother played my mother in the
Oh,
finale.
yeah.
No way.
I had the vision of my mom. Yeah.
Huh.
So
No nepotism on the
Interesting.
show
That
at
is
all.
I auditioned my mom, but she was
Adorable.
crap.
yeah, it came down to the two of them. But,
Sorry, Mama
Yeah.
Passmore.
Yeah.
My mom, too, she was too fat. And I was like, really?
But that
That's
was
not
that
right.
was that was pretty insane. I didn't know actually until like these guys had finished shooting, and
Oh, you didn't know
And
until
Blair
after?
went, "Did you meet my mum?" And I went,
Yeah.
"Oh, is she
No.
here?" And she was sitting in her cast chair right beside him, and he's like,
cute.
she's,
I
Yeah,
love
and it was, I mean,
that.
she
So
had,
how did she
had a
feel about
blast.
it?
Like, I
Yeah.
don't think we'll ever top it. I mean,
Does she act or anything?
That's really cool.
she did acting. I mean, I don't think I would have brought it up if it had, she had been like a plumber. And,
Yeah.
But she looked
Yeah.
like you, so maybe.
yeah,
and
we
that
have
makes
very
perfect
similar.
sense now.
We have very similar features. So
But
it wasn't that hard of a sell when I brought it up to Sean, and he was into it, and I helped her tape the lines for it, so they checked it out at the network, and they approved it pretty quickly. So
I like how he
That's
does
cool.
that. I mean, I think that's really cool.
Sean?
Sean's a good dude.
Yeah, I
He's a
think
good
it's
guy.
just, so many guys would have to be in such control that they wouldn't let you. Like, they're like so open, and it makes it feel more like a family to
That's
me,
so
too.
nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Well, I
Makes
think
a
it
big
makes you
difference.
happier to work together
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it makes things more comfortable.
you'd
probably.
think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You would.
You'd hope so. Okay.
But I do remember something was going on with Wheezy, our daughter, and I remember your mom, she was there as an actress, but she was super trying to help me that day. I can't remember what it was. It was when we were shooting at the hotel, right? At the Casino
Yeah.
Royale.
She was coming over trying to babysit or something.
Aww.
No, she was just being really helpful. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, your mom was around when you were playing super drunk guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Was it weird to do that around your mother? You're like, here, mom, here I am.
Does she
in my
have something
glory.
to say?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
there's-
he's a Georgian boy. She's used to it.
Let's just say, there's worse things she could see on that show. So if it's just me getting drunk, then
Touche. Start of it.
I'll, I'll count myself lucky.
She wasn't putting a sock in Stephanie's room.
No.
Okay, so what about season 1?
Gosh, it's so far back. I can't remember.
I'm sorry, you're
What
so
are we even
old.
shooting?
You're so old.
We said we're gonna do that.
Oh, I was gonna match what you said. Yeah, it was the scene of the pilot.
Right?
The car.
Right? Yeah.
And this guy was a trooper. He was so cold the whole time.
It was
falling in the puddle,
cold.
and it's like,
So
how can I not
Did
go
you
with
embrace
that?
each other?
In a fighting stance.
Oh, right.
Embrace each other.
More of a
Oh, I
counts.
thought,
It
oh,
counts.
you're talking about that
Far
scene.
apart.
Okay.
Back
All
that
right,
way.
all right. Do you all have any? Well, I actually also want to talk about what other stuff you have going on right now. While we wait to hear about season 3 of Satisfaction, is there anything in the works for you all that you can share or
I just
not
shot
share?
a Bravo pilot.
You did.
Also under the Universal.
Champs.
Did you
The
drink any
Champs.
champs?
Champs.
Of course she did.
No, it's a little show they're doing about con artists called My So-Called Wife,
Oh.
and I start off as an old lady.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Shocking.
an old lady, and then I transform into a.
It's like Benjamin Button. What? For
No, I'm a
con
con
artist?
artist.
Con
I'm
woman.
in disguise.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, so it's a scripted show. It's not like
It's a scripted
yeah,
show, and the
yeah,
lead
yeah.
girl-
Bravo's starting to do that.
The
now.
lead
They got
girl
two
is a con artist,
Huh.
and I'm one of. There's 3 of us in the con. So she has a whole life, But when she's in, you see her in the con. I'm in the con.
Interesting.
That is very exciting.
It's like the grifters.
Yes. So how similar to Adriana is this character?
Not at all.
Oh.
Not at all.
Because that's all I think of now. Like a lady con
We
artist is
benchmark
Adriana.
everything to Adriana.
Yeah.
like all female
Just-
actors
yeah.
now.
Adriana.
Have you seen the campaign?
Oh yeah.
Like completely different.
Yeah.
Shockingly different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
she's like this
hilarious
girl's, like,
and amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. She's really
So we
wonderful.
start at the end of one con, and I'm Aunt Katherine, actually, in this con. And then it's
funny.
Apparently, like, this will take us into the new season. I'll be like somebody's clening lady.
Oh.
So I don't know what the cleaning
How
lady's going to look
fun.
like. I'm like, our cleaning lady just quit and moved to Sacramento. Maybe that's my play. That's what I say.
It sounds like so much fun.
Oh,
Wow.
that's awesome.
All right.
So when can we expect that?
Well, if it goes, I have no idea.
And then if she's doing this one at the same time, it's
Oh.
It was just a
You're
guest
gonna be
star.
busy.
It was a guest star. It was like,
but it's a guest star that it looks like it'll return as long as she's available.
It's probably a recurring. part.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That's
That was
exciting.
What else am
Exciting.
I doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh,
She's like
I auditioned at a callback today for a Roger Corman movie, and
Ooh.
Roger
Death
Corman
Race
was there.
2000.
Wow.
Remember that one?
Oh my
So
gosh.
if I get it, everyone will know. And like, let me tell you, it was a cattle call, but I didn't really care. I'm the only person that was old enough to know who Roger Corman is.
Incredible advantage.
That is.
That's great.
But so I'm
Exciting.
sitting here thinking like, wow, I haven't had to wait this long in a while. and then I walked in the door and there was Roger Corman. It was kind of cool.
That is cool.
It was really cool.
Right, for him to
very
be there.
It was really cool. He
All
was
right.
like producing
So
actively.
old school though, like you don't get callbacks anymore. Like I
Yeah!
had a callback. It's
Like
like you
they-
read once and they have
They
it on
put
tape.
you on
and
tape for
they
the
don't hire
director
you
who's
and they
in
don't.
Alaska.
But
Do
like
you know what
a
I'm
callback,
saying?
it's like
You're like, a what?
why?
What
What
else?
am I doing?
else?
What is this?
Did it already. What do you think I'm gonna do it different? It's
Was the file
I am
destroyed on the
me.
computer?
right.
Exactly.
So old
Grant was
school.
like, I'm like, it was
Callback.
the whole thing was so funny that I was like, I'll just go. Like, who cares? And then there he was.
Amazing.
No, we need one so that we can release on YouTube.
It's just you know,
Horrifying.
Matt, what do you have in the works?
I'm developing a horror movie with a couple of writer friends.
She's
Nice.
queen of horror, right here.
This one.
Yeah.
Trying to do a little reinventing because I love what 28 Days did with
Oh
the
my
Zomba-
God, that
So
is
the
good.
zombie, the Zomba.
Yeah.
So it's zombies
It's a whole
doing the
nother level.
Zomba.
Zombie on another level.
So just
Zombies
with
doing
you.
Zumba. I like that.
taking zombies to a kind of like a little bit McCarthyism, a little like making them really smart. That they still have those desires, but they become it becomes like you start looking at the person next to you very differently. So it's very that might like
snatchers and
like
zombies.
yeah, very
Yeah.
snatches. I love that you
Like
remember
it.
that.
Yeah.
Grant is on.
But
Mr.
it really
Speeds.
comes into that McCarthyism where everyone's looking at each other and
Interesting.
Right, I like that.
Are
Well,
you
it
writing
becomes
it or you're working with a writer?
I'm working with the writer, so I throw ideas out there and he makes them look beautiful.
Wonderful.
Ooh, nice.
Got it. I
Very
like
cool.
It. Grant.
Mr.
Well,
I'm going back to
Speeds.
Devious Maids.
Lovely.
I start that in January.
Okay.
Which is why I was in Atlanta and able to do this lovely show for season 4. And I'm doing a show for ABC called The Family. It's a new show starring Joan Allen and
Everyone says like they can't stop even reading the
It's
script.
terrific.
It's supposed to be the big
It's
new
terrific.
fancy political show.
Yes, there's not as much politics in it. It's more. It's. I can't-
It's so much. It's
Let me-
like
I'll tell you what-
words
I'll tell you what
don't.
it's inspired by a documentary that I saw on Netflix, I believe, a few years ago called The Imposter. I believe that's what it's called. And that's a story about an 8-year-old kid was abducted 10 years ago and presumed dead.
Oh, I remember that.
And then
I
an
saw that
imposter
with you.
came in
And
and
he shows
pretended
up.
to. Yes, have seen it.
like
And
a
this
French
guy,
kid,
this
yeah.
Spanish, I think he was Spanish.
Didn't even look like the kid.
The kid had blue eyes. This
Yeah.
guy had brown eyes, but everyone was so invested in this kid coming back for their own reasons. You know, the parents because they wanted their kid back, and it turned out that everyone else thought maybe the uncle killed the kid. So everyone was trying to there was all these reasons why they wanted this kid. Well, anyway, this story, The Family, is based on that, loosely based on that. So Joan Allen is running for mayor. Her son is not getting any traction in the small town in Maine. Not getting any traction. Her son's abducted. suddenly she has a cause to back, and anti-crime or anti-abduction or whatever. She gets elected mayor. 10 years later, the kid's presumed dead. They put someone in jail for it. She is now running for governor. And he shows up.
That's tough.
Oh. Who plays the kid? Who shows up?
I don't know. The two.
Newbies?
Working on it.
Yeah,
Casting.
There's two. They go back and they go to the past and the present. So there are two actors playing him. I don't know either one of them.
Okay, I'm excited.
Anyways, it's terrific.
And
And currently, the Andrew McCarthy plays the across the street pedophile who was put in jail for the initial.
Okay. Oh.
And
okay.
in the first 10 episodes that I've read so far, he's the most heroic character in the whole piece.
Wow.
So it's really terrific.
You're gonna have to do
really,
AfterBuzz.
Ooh,
It's a
yes,
family.
There will be. I'm sure there will be. Yeah.
It's terrific.
Wait, so when is that airing?
It's a mid-season this year on ABC.
Oh, okay.
Called
Okay.
The-
All right.
It's great.
Yes.
It's great.
And so exciting.
I play the governor that she's trying to unseat.
He's a John Edwards type.
I love it.
see that.
Very John Edwards.
Wow. Love it. Matt, are you going to play a governor soon?
The governor?
Everybody's doing it.
Well, yeah, it seems to be, it's either grow a beard or play the governor. Hello, governor.
I did both this year.
You say it very well.
Yeah, exactly, you did.
I know. Thank you for that, because I was thinking it in my head.
I was too.
I
just
I
can't
know.
put
But
it
then you
together.
said it,
I
yeah.
did the English version before you guys actually insulted me. But,
Yes.
are you Australian?
Thank
Hello,
you for
governor.
doing that.
Yeah, and I
You got us out of trouble here.
I was really hoping all season he might break accent one time on the show, but it,
He's got a
What,
terrific
so
accent.
as the dress comes off, it'd just be like, crikey! You don't want to get near that, they'll punch you.
Yes, exactly.
What we had in mind.
That's exactly it. How about you? Anything a brewing?
I've been chilling out a little bit. I went and worked on a film that my buddy, a good friend of mine, is shooting in Savannah.
Lovely place.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city.
It's where it's all happening.
Yeah, he was
Georgia.
doing that down in Georgia, so it was a good excuse. To,
I love that show too when
stay
it was
there.
on for one season. So many years ago. Yeah.
How long ago was
Wow.
A long time ago.
You are a watcher of
Oh.
those shows, aren't you?
What's that girl with Rebecca that's married to Dr. McDreamy?
Sure, I don't know.
McSteamy?
Oh yeah. Yes.
was
Yes.
Savannah.
Yes.
I have no idea what that kind of
Grey's
That's
Anatomy
alright.
just
Okay.
came out.
I got
Yeah,
it.
code names.
It's cool.
And show up next
It's cool.
to
It's
it.
cool.
Right.
Me.
Right?
You're in company.
Rebecca
It is.
Gayheart.
It's
Thank
like
you.
Smokers, where they go
Rebecca
into Grey's Anatomy.
Gayheart. Listen,
Like, sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
that's
5 minute Grey's Anatomy break.
Oh.
We gotta.
Connecting everything.
That's
Yeah.
Beverly Hills 90210 as well.
No, right.
Dylan
Oh,
McKay.
wait. I have
Yes.
to do another shout out.
Oh, sure. We'll
Love
just,
is all you need. That's all I gotta say.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about
family.
Savannah.
Coming out.
Yeah. So my friend was
right,
shooting
right,
down
right.
there, and he throws me in all his films. So it's like if
That's great.
my friend Greg Bishop's doing a film, I'm in it.
When is the
So-
film
What's his
coming
address?
I don't know. It's called Siren.
Siren.
It's based off of a short film that won some awards, so
Okay.
I'm not sure when the release date is. They're still editing right now, so
Cool.
keep an eye out for it. It'll be
Nice.
fun.
Awesome.
It'll be fun.
We'll follow
Exciting
you.
projects.
We'll follow your Twitter feed and be updated accordingly.
I don't know
right?
if that's the most up-to-date source of.
No,
Are
it's
you
not.
bad at that too?
Yes.
Are you bad at that?
We're all bad
Can
at
it go away,
You would think I'm like a
No,
65-year-old
I know.
man. I'm
I
like,
wish it would
Can
go
don't
away.
have an Instagram.
Can it just go away? It's just people that aren't on television and film use it for their kind of like. Can
But
we
Twitter
just
like
communicate this way?
14,000 of
Yeah, I
my
agree.
followers, and now I'm just over them.
No, I think you do a pretty, I think
do
you
a
do a
pretty
good
good
job. I
I
get the
go on-
favorites, the
I
binge
retweets,
it.
all
She
that
binges.
stuff.
Yeah,
is
I'll
what she
just-
does. I'll know it because suddenly she responds to like 1,400 people and then she's gone for 2 weeks.
No, that's it. I was actually told that rule. They're like, listen, however you want to do the social media thing,
Yeah.
and certainly has become part of our jobs. as
Yeah.
well as, whether you enjoy it in your personal life or not. They're just like, whatever you do, the only rule is to be consistent. Because
Which is
people
so
like,
hard.
And I am,
Be consistent
and then
in
I go and break
accent.
that law
I'm
every
consistent.
time. I'll send 15 in one day, because I'll be at some college football game or something like that, and I have amazing thoughts at college football games. And then you won't hear from me for 3 months.
Right.
Then all of a sudden I'll be like, hey, I'm in Cabo. And this guy next to me farted on the plane. And
That's good.
And I'll go on for another 15. So
So they
So
say
that's
that's
that.
bad.
But that is
So that's bad.
But that is a
I'm the worst.
consistency
They
in
say.
itself.
well, actually,
They do
yes, my
say.
inconsistency
yeah,
is
it's
consistent.
consistent.
Yes.
Every 3 months, I
So I tell a lot of women that
Yeah.
line, actually.
I'm consistently
Tell me the day it
inconsistent.
works.
Khaliel lies. He lies. What? other questions do you guys have before we get to their non-existent Twitter feeds, etc.? Anything that we missed? Anything?
I think this was.
I kind of wanted to be like, what was your favorite sex scene to film this season?
Well, I don't think Grant got any sex. We didn't get any sex from
no
our
sex.
No, you got nothing.
Well,
sex
it's
from
not like
costume
it fell off.
Rosalie did in that last episode.
Ooh.
Holy schmoly.
Yeah, she did.
Yes.
She
how
really
is
got
Rosalie
Testing
doing?
it out for Adriana.
Actually,
How is
Right.
Rosalie?
I had
She was
dinner
so
with
good.
her.
How cool was Britney?
She is lovely.
Yeah, she is lovely.
Yeah, she was.
Khalil
she
watched
was
her in
great.
France.
She's like an under 5.
She what?
She was like an under 5. She was like, it's a category of role.
She
that,
replaced my first minion.
But that she like really had no lines. She wasn't
Yeah.
really.
But she was so important.
She's
And then
terrific.
she was
the
every
muscle.
She's
episode this
terrific. She
year.
was a terrific
But
actress.
funny
Really,
enough,
like
Britney and the way she did it somehow validated or brought a life to Adriana's whole world.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
she was great.
So without
yeah.
her, it could have been just a crazy woman. She was actually like Cat Lady, who thought she was this like master
Yeah.
puppeteer or
Yeah.
whatever.
No, she was
But as
very
soon as you got
instrumental.
someone like Britney in the background, then and doing all her
Legitimate
things, but she always
business
had this
operation.
great.
Who sort of has
She
the
brought a great
gravitas
sass.
that if this woman with this gravitas is paying attention to this woman, woman must be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you have it.
All right, so before we go around, I just want to leave us on one note. I was reading an article on Heavy.com, and so the creator, Sean, he mentioned about the first season. He said the main idea of the whole show is being happy a worthwhile thing. And I read that and I went, well, yes.
Should
I
Are you
think-
satisfied?
Hashtag are you satisfied? But what does that make you all feel? Is being happy a worthwhile thing, Matt?
I mean, happy's always
Or is there a difference between happiness and satisfaction?
satisfaction. It's not
Yes.
what you want; it's only what you need.
Oh.
Um,
Is that an interesting question, though? That like
well,
he
it
said
is because
that
well, happiness to me is always used as an affidavit for a feeling, and feelings come and go.
Yes.
it's like a state of being,
Sure.
and you never know. That's like a roller coaster, but there's satisfaction seems to be a very different term. You don't go like, oh, I was very satisfied today.
You're right.
Up until 11 o'clock, and then I got very unsatisfied. But got home
Very
and
dissatisfied
got back there.
this afternoon.
Yeah. So I think happiness itself, it's funny because you read something from the Dalai Lama, the pursuit of happiness. And he lives in this world where actually none of the book is actually about happiness. It's just about existing in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's somewhere that Sean starts to see this, that happiness exists or satisfaction exists in the journey, even while you're falling flat on your face. And you might be in some of the most hurt, the worst valley of your life and getting scraped through the worst dirt of your life. That in the long run, you can see that the validity is always in retrospect. But while you're going through it, it can feel like hell. But satisfaction seems to come from experiences
I
and those
agree.
kind of things. Whereas the pursuit of happiness can lead you down so many roads.
It's true. It's true. Happiness and satisfaction.
Yeah.
There should be an app for that too. Like, are you just all day long? Are you satisfied? No. At 11 a.m. I was not.
But you can be.
And then what do you
And then,
satisfy?
and then there's metrics. Like at the end of the week,
Yeah.
you can be like,
What do you do with that?
For 65%
But isn't it
of
funny?
this week.
Satisfaction is the nirvana. It's like, so can you actually ever say to someone like, are you just completely 100% satisfied? The minute someone says like, well, yes, I am, you're like, well, now you're dead.
Yeah,
Right?
done.
Like, you
Yes.
reached it.
What else?
You're done.
Right.
Anything from now on is going to be downhill.
You're right.
Because
Right.
obviously you've reached it. So it's more about the journey, and satisfaction is some kind of, place where we all think we want to head
To
or
achieve,
we don't head,
yes.
and where we actually go to get there. Who the...
We meander.
Right, because you can be happy but unsatisfied and that not be a bad thing.
Look at how
Yeah.
At
deep
all.
this show is.
It's so
Right?
deep.
I know.
It's so
So deep.
It's one of
deep.
them
Happy
layer
just sort of
things.
feels like I could be a fool and happy. I could be
True.
you know,
A
it
nerd
just-
and
That's how
happy.
that's how I live my life.
Well,
There is a saying that says, be happy.
right there, I was just happy just for a moment.
Don't worry.
Gone.
If be happy, it's one way of being wise.
Oh, I like it. Who said that? Katherine LaNasa.
Yeah, that's who said it.
Isn't that
That's
in
who
the
said
song,
it.
Don't
That's who
Worry?
said it.
Be happy.
That is a song.
But I
Sounds
actually
familiar.
think
It
about
is.
that a lot now, and I think it's kind of like there's so many ways for us to be dissatisfied now. Like, I can't get my permits to, add on to my house, or, I can't do this, or, for instance, but like certain things that can frustrate us that seemingly to no end that we've been trying to do and we can't do it. And it's like, I can't get here, or I can't get there, or I can't get whatever it is that we want.
Right.
I've seen in my life people feel so justified in their misery.
Right.
Because they can't get a mate. And that same person that has a mate feels so justified in their misery because they can't get a career. The person with the career has the mate. The person with the mate has the career. And it's
the grass is always greener.
Yeah, and this one doesn't have a child. This one has too many fucking kids, and it's just like, it's all of that, and I really try to wake myself up. Every time recently I've been just like, do I want to spend my life, my precious life right now where I have this beautiful daughter, I have a son, like, nobody has cancer, like, we're all doing okay, like,
hallelujah.
Am I going to hang on to this a-hole that, like, cut me off, or what so-and-so said to me, or how this injustice happened, I'm just gonna pray that I can keep it together, and, like, just be willing to be happy, like, it's such a grace just to be alive. It's so true.
Well, one thing that I really liked when I first went in and talked with Russ and Sean about this show was I said, I love that you surround it within the social context. And we started talking, and I said, have you guys read that book, Affluenza? It's like the disease of our modern age, affluenza, where when is enough ever enough? It's not.
Right.
Because,
Especially in the US.
At every moment we're marketed that, like, oh, you just got that fridge. Well, now you need the one with the internet.
Now you need that TV.
Consumerism and all sorts of things. Then you got to keep up with the Joneses and this whole thing that all the stuff that
there's
we are
no
sold.
internet on this plane. This is bullshit.
Everything that we're sold in life that is supposed to be important, and then we're moving further and further away than the things that actually do nurture a human soul and are important. And I thought that that's where the show started.
Which I was the happy fool for a long time, and then I got married and had a baby. And
now you're just
a dissatisfied wise man.
The hardest thing ever, and yet that is exactly what made it fulfilling. Is how hard it is makes it worthwhile and fulfilling. It was as simple as that.
I love it.
Very well put.
All right, we have to wrap, sadly. Where can they find you? Oh, I didn't want the music just that second. I want people to be able to actually say their...
Cut the goddamn music, goddamn it! Go on, Allison.
Matt,
go on.
Where can they find you on the Twitter once a year when you go on?
Matt Passmore 11, Matt Passmore 11.
Perfect. Katherine, Lady LaNasa.
At Lady LaNassa.
Grant.
Grant No Show.
Grant No Show. It's the best.
Hilarious.
Blair.
Blair_Redford.
Lovely.
And there's a Twitter that's official and has 0 pictures if you want to check it out.
Oh,
yeah,
exciting.
always look for the blue
We
tick.
should add one tonight for
Look
you.
for the
Official
blue
Blair
tick.
Redford.
Very true.
The official, but don't count on it. Even though I'll pray for it.
Thank you.
I'm Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean. Blake, where can they find you?
Yes, I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
Khaliel Abooboo, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Khaliel Abooboo. And next year we will have our line of Khaliel Abooboo, and Katherine LaNasa will be modeling for us.
Yes! Lauren Salaun, where can they find you?
Lauren Salaun. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Lauren Salaun.
Let's all pray that we will see a season 3 of
Yes!
Satisfaction
Oh, we have
and
to.
what
Yes.
unfolds with the spermies. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for our finale extravaganza.
Thank
It was so excellent.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you
are
so much for coming.
overjoyed.
I want to go get drinks with you guys.
I know.
Right now.
Watch it.
Let's go.
Or in North Hollywood, I'm sure we can find a bar.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.